I'm pretty sure that you don't want to have to think about parasites, but the truth is they're everywhere. And these tiny little creatures can infest your body and they can have serious impacts on your health, especially if left unchecked. Now, if you're wondering how to get rid of parasites, you are not alone, and that's why I'm here. And this is one of the best ways to get rid of parasites, and of course, doing it naturally. So let's start with the roundworms. So the roundworms can just be 1 millimeter in length, but they can grow up to a meter in the intestines. And these are a very common type of intestinal parasite that often pinworms, if you've heard of that or experienced that, which is that those dreaded pinworms can keep you up at night. This would be a type of roundworm. Where would we pick up these roundworms? Well, it happens more often than what you would think. So when we talk about eating healthy raw fruits and vegetables, especially if those fruits and vegetables are organically grown without the pesticides, you're more likely to actually pick up these parasites, and especially their eggs. So again, their eggs are usually microscopic and you don't necessarily see them on the produce. As well as if you're out in the soil, in manure as well, and in uncooked or undercooked meat, you can definitely pick up the roundworms. Now, a little word to the wise: if you are a sushi lover and you love to eat your sushi, this would be a common place, and I saw this a lot in my practice, of course, as a naturopathic doctor, seeing my patients with these chronic GI symptoms and having the roundworms. Commonly, if they love to eat their sushi, this was another place to pick up the roundworms. Now, another type of parasite that I want to discuss, and don't be scared by this one, is the hookworm. Now, the hookworm is called the hookworm, and you can see why, because if you look at those fangs, basically, that hook onto the intestinal walls, very commonly picked up as well. If you walk barefoot outside, out in the garden, this hookworm can get in under the skin, into the blood, and then they often will go to the lungs and can cause a cough, but they also hook onto the intestines, and they are commonly robbing you of your iron levels. So for people who have a chronic low iron level, it can be related to hookworm. So definitely something to get investigated. Other symptoms of having the hookworm include abdominal pain, just not feeling well. In terms of proper digestion, you could have itching and a rash on the skin, and of course that cough when they are in the lungs. But the scary thing about, again, the hookworm is that you can be completely asymptomatic. So you don't necessarily have symptoms of having the hookworm. These are sneaky little guys, and they're hooked on inside, not necessarily showing up if you're having a stool sample or some testing done, that you're not necessarily being properly diagnosed and you may have these hookworms. So it's just something to be aware about. And that's why I always recommend, when I get to my tips, about doing regular parasite cleansing. As well as, let's talk about the flukes. So we can't forget about the flukes. The flukes can be in the liver, they can be in the blood, and they can be in the brain as well, and have an effect on cognition, but also in terms of behavior. The flukes have been now linked in the literature and in the research to different things happening in terms of mood disorders and having these parasites in the brain. Now, these are commonly picked up in, again, raw fruits and vegetables, in drinking water. If you're a sushi lover, you can have and be picking up flukes from the sushi, and uncooked fish. Now, again, with the flukes, you could be completely asymptomatic, meaning that you don't necessarily know that you've got the flukes. And the scary thing about the flukes is that they actually have their own stem cells, meaning that they can regenerate and have that ability to propagate and regenerate in your body. It's something that you definitely want to get rid of. Let's talk about some of the best ways now, on the positive side, to get rid of the parasites. So there are specific herbal medicines that I love that help to kill parasites, kill their eggs as well, and taken in a specific protocol is really going to help you to not only prevent having parasitic infections if you're doing this regularly, but also actually kill off those parasites in a healthy and safe way without having negative side effects as you're doing that killing process. And some of these herbal medicines are really known to have that power to be able to kill these parasites. So one of my favorites is called Artemisia annua, and this is Sweet Annie. It helps to kill parasites parasites, but their eggs as well. So that is really powerful. It's been known to kill malaria as well, so that is an added benefit. Black walnut is another great herbal medicine that kills parasites in their tracks, and again, doesn't have those negative side effects that can go along with taking some of the conventional medications for doing parasite killing. I also love oregano, and not just the oregano oils. So I like using the whole plant of oregano, and again, in a standardized format within a whole parasite cleansing protocol. And the reason for this is that to just take the concentrated essential oil of oregano can be a little bit hard on your liver, so it's not usually something that I recommend. I like using the whole plant and all the attributes of the plant to help to kill and get rid of those parasites and their eggs as well. And another herbal medicine is cloves. Now, cloves, we know in cooking, is fantastic for that added flavor, but it does have that parasite killing ability, which is amazing, as well as killing the eggs of those parasites. So this is definitely something that you can take all of these herbal medicines in combination as part of a parasite cleansing protocol. Now, there's a very specific way that I like to kill parasites, and this is in a 2-week protocol of being actively killing those parasites with those herbal medicines, and then taking a 2-week break. You want to do that strong kill phase for 2 weeks, and then take that 2-week break, because parasites are very tricky and they do replicate in their life cycle, and they actually tend to be more active around the full moon. So you want to, if you can, target that 2-week killing phase around the full moon, and especially at nighttime. That is a great idea, but you don't always have to do it that way. It's just an added aside. But also, then you're going to follow up after that first 2 weeks of killing those parasites, and some candida maybe as well. With that protocol, you want to be then detoxifying, because what happens is that these parasites will also give off toxins, and candida does that as well. So you want to kill off and actually not just kill the parasites, but then detoxify all of those toxins that went along with those parasites to really rid your body of all of that toxic load and the parasites and their eggs as well. Some supportive ingredients and supplements that I like as part of that parasite cleansing protocol, of course, include fiber and probiotics. So these are the good guys, your good organisms, your army of good guys that you've got to put back into the gut, and making the gut less hospitable and more acidic to be able to fight off those parasites if you were to ingest them or get them into your bloodstream again from another infestation period. But hopefully that's not going to happen. This is why I recommend always staying ahead and being proactive and preventative in terms of parasites, because you never know when you might pick one up. You don't necessarily have to travel to pick up parasites. They are right around you in your environment right now. So not to scare you, but doing regular parasite cleansing is what I always suggest. Now, for more information on herbal medicines for doing that parasite cleanse and detox, please check out my other video, Best Herbs for Parasites. I'll see you there.